Good morning. Good morning and welcome to our yoga practice. We are just making our way to the mat, settling in, kind of using this time to create space for our practice. That could be mental space, some physical space, emotional space, just tapping into whatever it is you need this morning as you roll out the mat and grab any props that you may want nearby. Welcome back to the mat. I know it's been a couple of weeks. This is nice. We're going to keep it pretty low today. So if you want to find a comfortable seat or head down to your back, you can. That is where we're going to start today. We've got another minute or so. We're just coming onto the mat, finding our space, settling in. And we'll start to gently lay back, settling the head and shoulders, the spine on the mat. The legs can be long, they could be bent. You could let knees rest against one another. Just finding a nice comfortable spot where you can center in. Hands could be on the belly, helping connect with the breath. Or you could have them down alongside body, palms up. And again, settle in. Let the head and shoulders relax. The arms grow a little heavier. A little ease in the hands. Relax the low back. And the legs. Loosen the feet and the ankles as you come into your practice. Grow your awareness of how the body is feeling so that you can honor it as we move through the poses. Begin to deepen the breath. Nice full inhales and exhales. Allow the body to expand and contract with you. See if you can match the length of the inhale to the length of the exhale to build a balanced breath that can help guide you through your practice. And as you build this awareness of body and breath, invite the mind to be part of it as well. It might be wandering off the mat, thinking through past events or jumping ahead to what may come. Ask it to be present, be in this moment, feeling the mat support you and the air around you. Keep this balanced breath as we draw the feet to the mat if they're long. If they're already on the mat, we'll heel toe them to about hip width distance apart. And then we'll draw the right knee in. You can grab behind the thigh or outside of the shin. If you have a strap that you want to use to help you draw it in, you could. Keep the head and shoulders resting on the mat. And we'll draw little circles with the right ankle. Embrace any creaks or cracks. But notice if you feel any acute pain. If you do, gently back out of the shape. Reverse direction. And get the toes engaged here too. You can give them a little wiggle as you take these circles. We'll find stillness with the foot. Give that knee a little squeeze. Send that heel up. Sole of the foot shines toward the sky. You can keep a little micro bend at the knee. And then we'll point the toes. And then point and flex a few times, just moving at your own rhythm. We'll find ease with that foot and we'll bend at the knee. So we're going to lower the foot down. It doesn't have to touch the mat. And then lift it back up. Nice and controlled. We lower and lift. One more time, just inviting a little movement into our knee. And then we'll settle that right foot back on the mat and draw in the left. And again, notice if you're really struggling to hold this leg here. If you are, it's all right if that leg's a little farther away from the body. We're going to find that balance between effort and ease as we take these circles with the left ankle. Feeling the toes. We'll reverse direction. These circles can be as big or as little as you like. Sometimes it can be fun to play with the size just to see how that feels, see how the body reacts. Find stillness. Little squeeze, send that heel high. Take a moment here. Scan from hip to heel. Then point the toes. Bring that awareness through the top of the foot, into the shin, down the front of the leg. And then point and flex. Find stillness with that foot and lower and lift. That nice gentle movement for the knee. Very controlled movement here. The leg doesn't have to fully extend. We'll do one more lift and then gently lower that foot to the mat. When left heel hits, slide that leg long. Extend it out and let the right knee fall open. The sole of the right foot connects to the extended right leg, a little supine tree. We'll take the arms out to a T if that's accessible to you. You could also take cactus arms. Just inviting in a little chest opener, letting gravity help us here. If having the arms outstretched isn't serving you, bring hands back to the belly or let the right arm or right hand rest on that inner right thigh to deepen the stretch slightly. One more breath here. We'll take the right hand to the outer right thigh, gently help that knee up, and then draw it in. Our full half wind relieving pose. It's always fun to say a full half. Keep the spine long. Back body is settled on the mat. We'll hold on to right knee with right hand and let that knee fall open only as far as your hip wants to go. Keep the hips square to the sky. Try not to rotate over. Exploring our range of motion here. And then we'll draw it back. Slightly cross over that midline. You should feel a nice stretch through the outer right hip. So we're still not rotating the body. Still square to the sky, just that knee moving slightly beyond the midline. We'll come back to center. Lower the right foot. Slide the left foot up to match. Extend the right leg long. Let the left knee fall open. Sole of the foot connects to the extended leg, our supine tree, opposite side. And again, you can take that T for those cactus arms. Back in with the breath. Use the exhale to help you dive a little deeper. Release a little more tension through the hip, maybe through the shoulders. We'll take the left hand, the outer thighs. We gently help that knee up and draw it in. Other half of our half wind relieving pose. Hold on to left knee with left hand. You let that knee fall open. Each side will be different. So notice what this leg is wanting, what this hip is in for. Honoring it. And then we'll bring that knee back slightly past the midline. Awareness drawing to that outer hip, that connection into our back. Back to center. Lower that knee down. Draw the right foot in, and then bring both knees, oh, pardon me, up to the chest. Nice full body hug for a moment. And then we'll hold on to right knee with right hand, left knee, left hand. Start to draw little circles, taking them out and away from one another. Ooh. And then gently back together. A little case of the sneezies. Slow it down and reverse direction. You start small and gently grow these circles larger. Might feel a nice little massage between the low back and the mat. We'll find stillness at center. Take peace fingers behind the knees. Rock along the length of the spine and use that momentum to bring you up. We'll leave the knees bent. We'll bring the hands behind us, a little support, and gently windshield wiper the legs. You can rotate the hips here a bit, inviting in our first little bit of rotation. And then find stillness as we take a nice seated posture, legs extended out in front of us, feet about hip width distance apart. We'll sit nice and tall, a little tuck of the chin while the crown of the head reaches. Hands can rest on thighs or down at our side as we take a moment here in our easy pose. On a big inhale, we'll reach up. Keep that length in the spine as we hinge forward and come into our forward fold. You can hold feet, ankles, shins, the mat. Again, if you have a strap and that's part of your process, you could hook that around the feet, and that can help draw you closer. It's nice, especially if the back of the legs are really tight. A little micro bend at the knees if you need it. That spine long, eyeing the heart toward the feet. We'll inhale up. We'll take the feet wide, whatever that feels like for you today. That might just be a couple inches. You might go really wide. We'll sit up tall. Walk the hands away as we fold forward. Hands can rest on the mat in the center. You could take peace fingers and hold the toes. Personally, I find that can be really nice because it helps me lengthen that spine, really fold forward. But find what serves you. You could hold ankles, lots of variations. We'll inhale up. We'll tuck the feet in, finding a comfortable seated spot. The legs can be crossed, they can be stacked. You could leave them out if you really wanted to. We'll sit tall as we bring left hand down to the mat. Inhale up the right. Exhale as we take it over, inviting in a nice stretch through the side body. That left hand supporting us on the earth. The breath helping us create space in our ribs. Inhale up. Exhale, right hand to the mat. Inhale up the left. Exhale as you take it over. As you come into the shape, notice if you tense up through the legs. If you do, let that exhale help you find a little ease. And that upper arm can have a little easiness to it as well. Keep the heart open. Sometimes we have a tendency to rotate in here. Want to keep nice and open. Inhale up. Exhale down. Right hand to left knee. Small twist. Try not to crank through the shoulders. Just a little twist here. Maybe the chest ends up angled toward that left knee. But maybe the gaze can move a little farther, turning the head a bit more. And unwind. Heading to the opposite side. Left hand to right knee. That right hand is just a little kickstand behind us. And again, maybe the chest is just angled toward that knee. Maybe the gaze continues. Come back to center. And we'll set the legs stacked one in front of the other, right in front of left to begin, trying to get the shin kind of parallel to the short edge of the mat. We'll sit up tall, walk the hands away. Try not to lift the hips too much here. Sometimes we have a tendency to really lift up as we come into this shape, but we want the hips to stay relatively settled on the mat. We fold down, checking in with the right hip. If you've got the legs opposite and the left's in front, check in with the left hip. Start to walk the hands in as we lift up and swap the legs. So if right was in front of left, left is now in front of right. Square it up, sit tall, hinge at the hips. Take your time as you walk the hands away, folding down, stopping when your body needs. Aware of how that hip is feeling, lengthen the spine. You can leave palms on the mat. You could come down to forearms if your body is flexible like that this morning. You can be somewhere in between. Walk the hands in as we lift up. We'll bring the feet together. So we're changing out the legs. Feet are coming together, soles touching, or just shining toward one another, and the heels can be as close into the body or as far away as you need. We'll sit up nice and tall. Again, hinge forward. Deepening that stretch through the hips and the inner thigh. I like to hold ankles and use my elbows and forearms to create a little bit of an extra stretch here, but that's totally optional. You could tuck the elbows in, you could hold the feet. You can give yourself a nice little foot rub. We won't be here terribly long today. Inhale up. Help the knees up. Scoot to the center of the mat, and again, settle the back body down. Coming to rest on the mat. We'll bring the hands down along our side. walking the heels in a little closer toward the rear. Palms are in the mat, thumbs are touching thighs. We create our base and lift our hips, coming into bridge pose. Walk the shoulder blades a little closer together as we rest on that shoulder shelf. You feel pinching in the neck, gently lower down. We're trying to avoid putting the weight in our neck. And as you hold your bridge pose, check in with the knees. See if they're in alignment with the hips. Sometimes they have a tendency to fall to one side or the other. And then gently lower down. Take your time as you return back body to the mat. Let the feet go to a comfortable distance away from the body and take those little windshield wipers. We'll slow it down and find stillness. As we bring the feet back together, we'll lift the legs to about a 90. Left hand to right knee as we guide the legs across. Might need to shift the hips here as we stack right over left, coming into our supine twist. So the legs are resting on top of one another. The feet can be as far away from the body or as tucked up as you want, finding that comfortable spot for you. We'll try to keep the heart open to the sky. That right shoulder journeying toward the mat, though it may not touch it. You could have that right arm at that cactus. You could have it out to a T. You could tuck it in and connect that hand with the ribs if that feels better for you. Left hand stays on right knee. Follow the breath. Each exhale helping you ease into the shape a bit more. On an inhale, we'll rotate back to center, squaring everything back up. Return those feet to 90. Right hand to left knee. Drop the legs to the side. Shift the hips as needed. Supine twist, opposite side. Aware of how the spine and the ribs are feeling. Let the legs grow a little heavier. We'll inhale back to center. Reset. Draw both legs in. Nice full body hug. You can stay here in stillness like we did before, or you could rock a little side to side if you like. That might feel good on the back body, on the shoulders. You're rocking, slow it down. We'll come to stillness, give the legs a squeeze and send the heels high. The little legs up the wall. This can be a great posture to do in the evening before bed, and truly let the heels gently rest on a wall. A nice simple inversion. And keep a little micro bend at the knees. I like to have my hands on the thighs, just that nice little external support, pretty gentle. Or you could have the hands down alongside body, palms up. We'll take 2 more breaths here. We'll reach the hands up, palms toward one another as we head to happy baby. So the knees start to draw toward the shoulders. We grab onto the feet, a deep hip opener. As we come into happy baby, frequently the spine wants to round up. See if you can keep it long. The low back connected to the mat, the head and shoulders resting. And the shoulders might move a little bit since you're holding on to the feet. We'll gently release our holds, send the feet high. With control, lower them to the mat. Taking the legs nice and long, we'll inhale the arms overhead. Full body stretch, reaching from fingers to toes. On an exhale, release as we bring the arms back alongside body. Letting the feet fall away from one another as we come into our Shavasana, our final resting pose of the practice. Taking a few moments here to settle in. Feet fall away from one another. And the legs grow a little heavier. Relax the hips. Soften the belly. The arms and the hands be at ease. Release any tension through the neck and the jaw. And furrow the brow as you close the eyes. And turn the attention in. The breath returns to your natural rhythm. You take a moment in silence, sitting with the self. I'll let you know when it's time to come up. If you have more time today, you can stay here for a few more minutes. If you're rounding out practice with me, we'll give the toes and the fingers a little wiggle. We reawaken the body, inviting in gentle movements, maybe a spin of the wrists, the feet, as we start to draw the legs in. And rotate over to a favorite side. Gently lift yourself up, letting the light back in. We find a comfortable seated spot. Bringing hands together at heart center, we'll seal in our practice. I encourage you to take kind thoughts, kind words, those kind intentions with you from now until we meet again. The light in me honors the light in me. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for our yoga practice today. We kept it low and easy, and I hope your week is easy as well. I look forward to seeing you back on the mat next Tuesday. Bye, y'all.